Hello everyone, welcome to LRDIPrep. My name is Sameer Sardana and we are going to start with critical path puzzle from this video on. I have uploaded videos before also on this channel based on the concept of state network diagram and critical path. This is a kind of puzzle which have been appearing in CAT paper from the start of the CAT paper, right? In CAT 2019, there was a set on state diagram that I have already discussed with you on this channel. So there's no specific set of theory, right, that you need to follow whenever you will be solving a critical path puzzle. Based on different set of instructions which will be given. There can be a number of different sets which can be made based on the concept of critical path. There is no specific sets of rules and regulation that we have to study first and then you can solve the critical path. No, right? For example, in knockout tournament, we first discuss the theory and then we use that theory part to answer the questions of knockout tournament. So is there any theory for critical path puzzles also? No. There can be a number of different set on critical path, right? So all you need is just practice different type of sets of critical paths that makes you comfortable, that makes you familiar with these type of set. So straight away, let's start with our set on critical path. It's a very important set. Look at it. Question says, in a hamster running game, so set name is hamster running game, right? So what does is there any reference of hamster here, right? Is a specific type of set based on hamster? No, right? The set will help you only in reading the diagram and what are the different type of points that you need to take care whenever you are solving a path puzzle. You see, in a hamster running game, starting from the point X and ending point Y are connected by a grid of 12 hamster running tracks, all of same length, numbered A to L. So see that this is the starting point of the running and this is the ending point of the running. Okay. And from X to Y, there are 12 different paths, right? What are these paths? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. 4 here, 4 here. 4 plus 4, 8. These are the grid lines. There are 12 grid lines. 4 on this side and 4 on this side. And I, J, K, L. 4 in the middle, right? So there are 12 grid lines on which the hamster will be running. So these are called as a hamster running track. A is a hamster running track. B is a hamster running track. Or C is a hamster running track. So hamsters will be running on these tracks. Okay. Let's now see what are the set of rules that we are supposed to follow to answer the question. The meeting point of two or more track is called a track meeting point, that is TMP, represented by Z, where Z is a number of tracks meeting at that point. However, X and Y are not TMPs as they are the start and the points. So track meeting points means the number of tracks which are meeting at a point. For example, at this you can see, if you look at this point, you see that 4 tracks are meeting, I, J, K and L. So this will be called as the TMP of this point will be called as 4 because 4 tracks are meeting. You see that here 3 tracks are meeting, I, E and F. So TMP will be called as 3 here. Okay, that's what the instructions are saying. Now 6 hamsters named as H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6 started at the same time from X. 6 hamsters are starting from the same time at X and ran to Y at the same speed. No 2 hamsters ran together for the entire track. Now this is the important information. This is the first condition that you need to follow. See, LRDI is more about the puzzle, the instructions. How do you follow the instructions, right? Can you keep these instructions in mind and solve the questions based on these instructions? You will be able to solve the set. There is no theory and rules and regulation that you need to follow. Okay. So the important point that you need to note down here whenever you will be solving this set, please note down this in your notebook, that no 2 hamsters ran together for the entire track. No 2 hamsters ran together for the entire track. So it's not that that hamster H1 is using this path and H2 is also using this path. It's not possible, right? No 2 hamsters are running together for the entire track. Okay, condition number 1. Second, it says each hamster ran along a route of the running of the minimum possible length. Now you see that from X to Y, every hamster need to run on 4 tracks, right? it can be AJLH, or it can be ABCD, right? So there are 4 grid tracks that every hamster need to run. So if every hamster is using a minimum track length path, so it has to cover the 4 grid length, right? You see that if I'm supposed to reach from X to Y, 2 grid will be in the horizontal and 2 grids will be in the verticals, right? So if you follow 2 vertical and 2 horizontal, you will reach at point X. Okay. What else do we have? It is also known that H2 and H3 did not travel through the 4 track point. Okay, these are the 2 persons, hamsters. These are H2 and H3. H2 and H3. They are not passing through the 4 track point. That means this is a 4 track point, right? We have already discussed that this is a 4 track point. So H2 and H3 are not passing from this. H2 and H3 are not passing from the 4 track point. Now if H2 and H3 are not passing from the 4 track point, that means the only possible path for left for H2 and H3 will be either ABCD or it will be EFGH, right? So because they are not supposed to pass from this point. Okay. While H4 ran along H6, H4 ran along H6 on track K. Now, one more important point that has been given here, that H4 ran alongside H6. So H4 and H6 are running together on track K. They have a common track K. And H3 ran alongside H5. H3 and H5 ran alongside on track H. So these are the conditions. H2 and H3 are not passing from here, and H4 and H6 are sharing track K, and H3 and H5 are sharing track H. So these are the 3 conditions that you need to follow. Now let's go to the question. What is the question saying? Question number 1 says, if H6 and H1 did not come across each other. Okay. Now let's first write down the possibilities. We already know that H2 and H3 are not running through this point. So what are the possible track for H2 and H3? So we know that the track length ABCD, right? There's a one track which is ABCD. One hamster will be running along ABCD. There will be one hamster which will be running from EFGH, and we know that if H2 and H3 are not passing, these are the only possible case for H2 and H3. So either H2 will be running over here or H3 will be running here. Or in this case also, either H3 will be running or H2 will be running. So if H2 is here, H3 will be here. If H3 is here, H2 will be here. Okay. So the remaining tracks, what are the remaining tracks for the hamster? It is AJ, KD. These are one possible. And then you have AJ, LH. Okay. Then you have EI, KD. And then you have EILH. Then you have EILH. So these are the possible tracks on which these 6 hamster can run. These are the only possible cases, right? So either you will not be passing through this track from this 4 TMP, or you will be passing through 4 TMP, right? So ABCD, EFGH, or you can go through AJKD, or you can go through AJLH, or you can go through EILH. Okay. Now H2 and H3 have these possible cases, and because it's mentioned that these are the 2, H4 and H6 are sharing the track K, and you see that out of the remaining options, K is coming only in these 2 possible cases, right? K is coming either in AJKD or EIKD. So that means the possibility for H4 and H6 will be through track K. H4 and H6, right? So H4 and H6 on this track, either H4 will be running or H6, because they have to share the track K. So if H4 will be coming here, then H6 will be coming here. And if H6 is coming here, then H4 will be coming over here, right? Because they need to follow the same track K. Okay. So now you see that the remaining person left who are sharing the track H are H1 and H5. So there are only 2 possibilities for H1 and H5. Either H1 or H5 will be taking this. If H1 is coming here, then H5 will come over here. And if H5 is coming here, then H1 will be coming here. So these are the possible cases. So this is a basic structure that you need to make first before you move on to the question. All right. Now let's discuss the question. if H6 and H1 did not come across each other, the question's condition, right? Don't forget, whenever you're solving a logical reasoning puzzle which is based on the conditions, do not try to make the all possible cases. For example, if I try to find out the unique possible cases where H2 is running, where H3 is running, I don't have that information given in the instruction, I'll not be able to make it. I'm supposed to answer the question following the instructions of the questions, right? Don't follow the directions only given the instruction part in the first paragraph. You also need to use the information from the questions to answer it. So if you try to find out the unique possible paths for each of these hamster, you will end up nowhere, right? You'll be wasting a lot of time because you will not be using this information which is given in the question itself. So what does the question 1 says? H6 and H1 did not come across each other. So we know that H6 can come over here, or H6 can come over here, and H1 can come over here, and H1 can come over here. Now H6 and H1 did not come across each other except at the 4 track point. So they are crossing each other at 4 track points. So this is the 4 track point where they are crossing each other. Okay. This is for H6 and H1. All right, and then the number of tracks along which H4 ran along H2. So we are supposed to find out what are the number of tracks running along which H4 and H2 are running together, and this has to be the at most value. That means I'm supposed to find out the maximum possible common tracks between H4 and H2 if I need to satisfy this condition. So it's a completely condition based puzzle, a little bit mix up of a critical path, or you can say the straight path, or this running track, right? And so it's a combination of condition based puzzle and a critical path puzzle, right? Now let's follow this condition that if H4 and H2 are not supposed to cross each other, H6 and H1 are not supposed to cross each other. H6 and H1 are not supposed to cross each other. Now see that if H6 and H1 are not supposed to cross each other, what are possible? I can go for H6 to given H6 can use the path of A, J, L, H because they are crossing each other at track point, and then H1 can follow the path of E, A, J, L, H. Then H1 need to follow E, I, K, D. So this will be the only option left for H1, right? For H6, if H6 is using A, J, L, H, right, then H1 will be using E, I, K, D. This is a one possible case. Okay. So now let's see, do we have an option for H6 to go for A, J, L, H? H6 is coming here. A, J, L, H is not available. A, J, H, L is also not available. So the only possible case is that H6 is using the path of E, I, K, D, and H1 is using the path of A, J, L, H. Do we have this possibility? Yes. You see that I can go for H1, right? H1 can go to E, I, L, H, right? H1 has to go to A, J, L, H, right? So A, J, L, H will be going to H1, okay? And H6 is going for E, I, K, D. So H6 is going for E, I, K, D, right? Now, if you know this, H1 is going here, H6 will be going here. So therefore, H5 will be using this path. And if H6 is going here, then H4 will be going this path. Now, what we are supposed to find out is the at most common tracks between H4 and H2. Now, H4 is fixed. Now, H2 is still not fixed. H2 can come over here, H2 can come over here also. If I go with the H2, if I go with the H2 being given as A, B, C, D and H4 given as A, J, K, D, then you see that the tracks which are common are the two possible common track. H2 can go over here also. If I go for H2 as E, F, G, H and H4 as A, J, K, D, you see that there is no possible track, which there is nothing common, right? E, F, G, H and E, F, G, H, you see E, F, G, H and A, J, K, D, there is nothing common, there is no track common. But I'm supposed to tell what is the maximum possible, at most possible tracks which can come common between H4 and H2. So the answer will be 2 tracks. So option C is the answer of the question. Here we have 0 common, here we have 2. But the at most possible value is 2. So therefore we'll go with this option. C option is the correct answer. So this was the first question. Let me show you the remaining question of the set that I want all of you to try. This is the question number 2 of the set, and I'll be discussing the solution of the question number 2 in the next video. Also, the question number 3 will be discussed in the next video. Both two questions are very, very good questions, right? You need to try this once to check your logical reasoning skills, whether you can just solve the condition-based puzzles, which is added with the concept of critical path. So both of these two questions will be discussed in the next part of the video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And please subscribe to the channel for more updates on my videos that I'll be uploading on this channel for your MBA entrance exams preparation. I'll be putting logical reasoning and data interpretation for not just for CAT, the videos for SNAP, MAH-CET and MAT will also be uploaded. And also, if you wish to attend my live sessions on Unacademy, you can go ahead using my referral code, that is LRDIPrep. This referral code will give you a 10% off on Unacademy Plus purchase, and also you'll be able to attend all of my live sessions on Unacademy. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next part of this video. Thank you.